Hey, my darling Aquarius, this is for you. We're going to get a good look at what the month of May has in store for you. And it's nice to look forward at the start of the month and have some sense of preparation for some of the themes that might show up. So, like I've been doing in the other readings, we're going to add an extra card this month. So, I don't know if you've been following along or if you're new here, but either way, let me know where you're tuning in from, what you need, what your questions are. I'd really love to hear from you guys. And I realize that a lot of you are overseas. So let me know if it's resonating, even though there's so much ocean between us. As a lot of you know, I'm based in Australia. So we are in autumn. I think collectively we've all had a big April. So that's across the board, it seems. Let's see how we're integrating all those big planetary shifts and what's coming through for you. Ooh. And I'll pull a shadow card from my own deck at the end so that we can understand what might be drawn out. So be mindful this month that there is going to be some unpacking involved for everyone. Some pulling through the layers, processing, understanding. So remember, when you're really in that deep inner work, try and keep your nervous system as regulated as possible, which means work on your parasympathetic, rest and digest, activate your vagus nerve, do all the things that relax you. So creative rest, physical rest, all of those types of rest. So we can actually process properly and integrate. And then you'll know by the end of the reading, the point where the integration is done, and you'll notice your energy pick up again, and you won't have to do quite as much of that deep self-care, but it does help in the beginning. And please remember, like, all the self-care techniques are fairly free. They should be free and accessible. It's just interesting that we don't do them. So meditation, free, easy, amazing, transformative, life-changing, still the one and only habit that you can do that will upgrade every part of your life forever. Journaling, which is when your thoughts get heavy and your emotions get dense and you can feel them all going into the same pile of gunk. Journaling pulls them out, dumps them into the physical realm so you can get through them. So if you're noticing you're glitching or you're looping on something, journaling is the key. Pull it all out, and then you don't have to ever see those words again if you don't want to. Overall theme, Aquarius, is we're looking at any kind of blocks towards a full feeling of fulfillment and contentment. We're looking at what is in the way of feeling like you're in the right environment with the right tribe at the right time, and all of those boxes being ticked, particularly from an emotional standpoint. So what's in the way of us feeling that more of the time? Because it's not that it's not possible, it's just that the card's reversed. So our job becomes, you can either skip forward a card to the Nine of Cups, revisit the lessons there so that the Ten of Cups goes upright, or you can work on this 3-card story and we can see the depths of why that card isn't upright. So it's possible. We've just got to move it around to get there. There is something happening on the mental plane that is keeping you in a sense of entrapment, right? You're either not letting go of something, you're keeping yourself bound by something, or there's too many thoughts focused on the wrong things. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be having those thoughts. I get very frustrated when people tell me just to stop thinking. I'm a very big thinker. I've got a busy mind. So what actually helps me is to think more, but think more constructively, think more creatively, think around the things that are binding me. Because if we let it go too far, it's going to turn into mental anguish, insomnia, and all those things. We're really starting to see that something is festering and turning in our minds. Now, sometimes the quickest hack that gets me out of this ongoing mental dilemma, which might be me looping on a story or me stuck in resentment or me convincing myself that it's someone else's fault, is I ask my guides, well, what if my perspective isn't right? What if I can't see the truth? What if that's not the case? What if I'm seeing it wrong? What if I don't have all the data? What if it's not that at all? So, for example, I could be telling a story to myself that says the one thing in the way of my full fulfillment is, I don't have enough friends around me, or I don't have the right partner around me, whatever it is. If you ruminate on that and you keep on focusing on it and you convince yourself that this one missing link is the partner, the friends, or whatever, you can end up in this situation, which totally negates that if that person or those people were meant to be in your life, they would be, or at least you get an opportunity. So you guys sit there and say, you're looking at the wrong thing. They're not here yet because they're not here yet. And sitting around thinking about what isn't here yet is not going to move you forward into it, because it's actually a position that's taking away your power. Lots of reverse cards this month, everyone. It is blocking your courage. So we're sitting around and thinking about it, but we're not actually taking actions towards it. So it's the person that says, oh, I'll never find a partner in this life. That's the one reason why I can't feel that feeling. And it'd be really great to feel supported and to have a companion. But you can see in their lives that they're not going out and doing anything about it. So watch how you're sitting in complaint, mental anguish, deficiency, scarcity, or a poverty mindset, or really convincing yourself that the world is this way. It's actually sucking out all your power to do something about it, because lo and behold, the final card, which is a very hefty card, says, check yourself. You're in this position because of choices made in the past that led you to this timeline. All actions have consequences. There's a cause and effect model for the 3D world. And if you're looking for the full-hearted feeling where everyone around you is happy and healthy, and you feel like you're in the right family system, tribe, social network, whatever it is, what have you done to actually cultivate that? Right? This is a stern warning here, because it says you want the thing, but you're complaining about not having it, disempowering yourself, and you don't realize that this is your own doing. So go back to your actions and what those consequences have been. So it might be that, and look, we all do this, it might be that you're complaining that you don't have good friends around, but are you calling up the friends that you do have and investing in them and asking how they're doing? And I know that it's burdensome to be the one that needs to reach out, and it's vulnerable, but you're the one looking for the tribe, the full-hearted feeling, the emotional fulfillment. You're the one feeling the deficiency. You're the one feeling the loneliness. You're the one in mental anguish, not them. So your actions will have consequences. And if the consequences of your action is a balancing in your life that you really deeply need, then we have to be prepared to go out there and do the work with courage and strength. When we need courage and strength, it's usually terrifying, right? I know it's upside down, but when it's that way, think about the level of devotion and training that woman would have to go through to have a lion or a beast that close to her and it not be a threat. An incredible amount of trust and faith involved. And when it comes to our lives, we need emotional fulfillment, we need tribe, we need connection, we need supportive friendships, we need around us what we need to thrive, but it all takes work. So this tells me that there may be some misaligned perspectives. And if you're pushing everybody away for the sake of what feels nicer for your ego, Spirit's now saying that's disempowering. It takes more courage to be vulnerable. It does. It takes more courage to put yourself out there, to join friendship groups, to go to meetups, to be the only person in the room without a partner, whatever it is. But this is telling me it's important for you to get out there anyway, because when that card turns around, it's an incredible feeling. And when that card turns around, you have the situation or the basis of really pursuing the next steps. With the right people around you, the right inner circle, the right tribe, you can go further than you can on your own. That's where the strength turns around too. That's where you can take the risks, because it's really hard to take risks when there's nothing to fall back on. But when this card shows up, we are in for a bit of a review. So you're in a situation that you have cultivated and created somehow, or you've been part of that creation. We need to go back, understand the steps that led us to this blockage, and then take different steps in light of courage to move you away from the mental anguish of what you don't have and facilitate something beautiful and abundant that feels balanced. It feels like this is where I need to be. It can be really difficult to not feel that feeling. It's really difficult to feel like everything's so unfair, or there's been some kind of injustice on you. And I understand that. And look, we could sit in that in our whole lives. We could tell ourselves for the rest of our lives that because that person and that person and that person hurt me, I'm going to shut down my heart. Have a think about the actual consequences of shutting down your heart. You're likely to suffer the consequences of shallow relationships, loneliness, and missing out on those really emotionally fulfilling parts. I know there's a risk. I know it's painful. But if you shut it down and you don't reach out, you don't be vulnerable, you don't invest in anyone, you don't open your heart up again and say, oh, well, I'm going to try again, even though I've lost that person and that person, then we can't expect for people to just naturally gravitate to us, because, you know, we are all innately intuitive. But particularly if you want a tribe full of intuitive people around you, remember that they can sense things in you that you might not realize. So they can sense when you close down your heart. They can sense that you're staying too safe, that you're not being courageous, that you're blocking connection. They can sense it all. And usually they say, okay, well, I'm just going to leave them to that. For a shadow card, you got the Tiger, 24. It tells me that you are powerful. There's two big cats here. You are powerful, but there's a misalignment between where that power should be expressed, who needs to see it, how mighty you think you are. It reminds me of, you know, when you push everybody away for the sake of saying, well, I'm right and they're wrong and they should be reaching out to me. That big cat power can be, you know, arrogant at times. And the Tiger really says, use your energy wisely, reserve your resources when you need to. Even a big cat can be vulnerable and play like a kitten. There's some themes here around just because you're powerful doesn't mean you need to dominate over everyone. It really says you can play like a kitten with whoever you want, knowing that you have the self-responsibility and the power to create boundaries and know where your actions have consequences. So cause and effect. So sit in what you've created, and if it's not what you want, there's a way out. There's just a few different steps of awareness we need to get through, but the tiger has light and dark, just like everything else. And if you like, you can look up tiger totem, you can look up tiger in Chinese astrology. It's really like powerful, fun, courageous. Usually tigers have this charisma and charm that everybody likes, but they can turn and be childish and reckless. So that tiger doesn't really need to prove that it's a predator. It doesn't need to prove how strong it is, but it can show that it does have the capacity to be slow and mindful and vulnerable and easy to be around at times. So I hope that helps. quite a big month in store. Let me know how you're going. Comment below. Let me know if you have any reflections. I love you guys so much. I hope it's a beautiful month, and I'll see you soon. Bye.